What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another Mets Roundtable podcast with Hayden and a new face that we'll get to him just in a second. Hector is probably somewhere in Washington Heights hanging out and probably screaming at the top of his lungs that the Mets suck. But with that said, thank you for joining us. We're going to spend about an hour with you today talking about the 21-28 New York Mets, 7 games under 500, the lowest point in the season is right now, and they come back home for their wonderful fans to watch them, God knows do what in Citi Field. But let's get to the new face on the round table, and I'm going to make him introduce himself and talk about his channel. Hello, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing good. I mean, the Mets suck, but we'll get into that later. I'm Tim. I run a podcast with me and my brother. We talk all the different betting in sports, with all the sports that go on during the year, with football, baseball, hockey, NBA, all that stuff. So we're more of the analytics part of the betting side of sports, but been a Mets fan since birth. I went to my first game before I was born, so it's been orange and blue since I've been born. It's been depressing ever since.
Yeah. So Tim is a New Yorker. We're coworkers.
Yep.
I found him when I moved to North Carolina, as I worked in, everybody knows where I worked. So yep, him. I was like, oh, Meth fan. Oh, YouTube, great. And it just happened that quickly. And I only been working there for 2.5 weeks. So perfectly. That's exactly how it went. And that's what Met fans do, right? We have to connect because the team doesn't make us feel good at all. So we have to, find other ways to connect and feel good about ourselves. And we rant on YouTube. That's how we do it. All right, guys. So let's Hayden, hi.
Hello.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to put the paper bag over my head. I was gonna do that.
I know. I set it up perfectly for you too.
I was gonna put a paper bag and I was gonna do like Frank the Tank, write all the players and their nicknames, right? Like $341 million Starling Farte. I was gonna write all of it, but I forgot.
Oh, that's lovely.
But
yeah, that would have been good.
Yeah, Mets talk with Hayden here. I'm assuming everyone knows me by now. Very rough times, very sad times to be a Mets fan. It's a joke and embarrassment of a team. I also started a football channel, Bill's Talk with Hayden. I'll probably be uploading there a lot more in the next couple months, and then I will have a hockey channel coming out soon. So subscribe to Mets Talk with Hayden and Bill's Talk with Hayden. And same old.
Yeah. It gets to the point now where it's like, what do we talk about? Right? We talk about negative aspects of this team. If it's the lineup, you could pick a player, pick a part of the team, defense, offense, pitching, bullpen, rotation, and you can complain about it negatively, and it will be warranted by anybody. Everybody might not agree with your point, but it's kind of like understandable. Like, yeah, they do suck. Yeah, Ottavino does give up big home runs. Yes, everybody else, sucks. And then we all agree to disagree. And depending on what player you want to really pick at, like I'm a Alonso hater, apparently. So it is what it is. But the Mets have a 10-game homestand coming up. And they just got swept in Cleveland. We all know that. They had to lose the way they had to lose in Game 3 of that series, as former Met Andres Jimenez hits a 3-run homer to tie the game, and then Cleveland took off and just got the insurance runs needed to win a ball game. And then, Game 2 was like close, nice, just like the Mets lose like a lot of their games. They lose close games, and good teams usually win most close games. They don't. And in Game 1, the offense was nowhere to be found, even though they got good pitching. So, Tim, I'm going to come to you with this one. They got a 10-game homestand. They're facing the Giants, Dodgers, and Diamondbacks. Yay. But what is if this team has any hope, it's clearly this 10-game homestand, because it's going to make or break their season. It's going to make their season. So what if they have any chance? What do they have to do? Like, the one thing that you can pinpoint, what do they have to do to have a solid homestand to say, hey, we might actually make a little bit of a run in a wild card spot?
Sweep. Sweep the entire. I don't know. This team is a little bit rough right now. They have to stay consistent. That's the problem. Is we get messed up one thing per series or whatever. It's either the bullpen's great, but we have no offense. Starting pitching sucks, but we score a bunch of runs. We have to have all three, bullpen, offense, and starting pitching going all at the same time, especially for two of the teams coming up. Not as much the Giants, but the Dodgers and the D-backs, even though the D-backs are not off to a good year. They made the World Series last year. That's still a solid squad that's just off to a very slow start, kind of similar to the Texas Rangers, where both of them coming off of like a World Series lull. But Arizona's going to get good throughout the year, and we all know about the Dodgers. But in order to kind of get themselves back, start with one game at a time. You can't look to try to gain back the 7 games under 500 at once. Win a series. Win a series for the first time. Well, they swept the Cardinal series, but whatever with that. They haven't really won a 3-game series since Alvarez went down. Prove that you can win without him. Until that, I don't see that. I'm hoping 10-game road trip homestand, 5-5. That's my hope. And it's sad that way. And the one series we'll win will be against the Dodgers. Because why? That's the Mets.
Yeah. And, that's a good point because that would probably be the team that they actually beat and win a series against. And then you wonder why, Met fans go crazy. And, it might get Met fans excited. Even if they lose 2 out of 3 against the Giants, they'll beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3. And everybody's like, oh, we got the Arizona Diamondbacks not playing good for 4 games. And here we go. And then what happens, right? We actually don't do as well. And 5-5, you know what it gets us? Exactly where we are. Too many games under 500. And you can't talk about really any chance of a wild card unless you get back to 500, right? That's like the keynote of trying to make a run at things. And the Mets have a run up until the deadline because August and September is going to be irrelevant if they don't have it at least be close enough to a wild card spot to have the team be at least somewhat buyers at the deadline and try to go for a wild card spot, similar to the last 2 World Series appearances by the Phillies and the Diamondbacks, who made that run late in the year, and they weren't the best teams in the playoffs by far. So, can they do it? Probably not, but we're pessimistic, right? That's Met fans, like, they shouldn't have Mets across their chest. It should be pessimistic. That's what they should have because that's exactly what we do every single day of every minute with this damn team. So, Hayden, I'm going to come to you now, right? 10-game homestand. I think, well, we'll talk about the home and road splits when we get to that point. The 10-game road homestand is where you're supposed to get right, and the Mets usually get wrong at home, and they usually kind of get right on the road because the stats say that. But what is your opinion about how they can get a good overall record at home in that 10-game span? And I'm not talking about 6-4. I'm talking about 7-3 or better. What is the main thing they have to do?
I mean, pretty much go a full 180 and just not do what they're doing right now. Said it a million times. We'll say it again. When they hit, they don't pitch. When they pitch, they don't hit. And that's just been the moral of the story for the Mets this season and last season. Offense is very inconsistent, and I think inconsistent in the Mets are peanut butter and jelly, essentially alike. Starling Marte needs to go. Brett Beatty, bye-bye. $341 million Jason Bay. I need to see more. I'm serious. He doesn't hit lead off. He doesn't hit third. I need more. You talk about you miss winning. Well, respectfully, dude, you're a big reason that you're not winning. This team needs to change things up a lot. You're coming home. It'll be a very dead stadium. I'm gonna, they could have all the cookie.
Be a lot of Giants and Dodger fans there. That's for sure.
And they could have all the cookie, cheese, cake, whatever foods they have at Citi Field. It's gonna be all Dodger and Giants fans there. Look at last Citi Field; it was all Philly fans. My friend was there, Phillies fan. He was like, "Dude, are there any Met fans here?" It's embarrassing. So it's like Miami. I was in Miami last week, and it was all Philly fans too. So nice time to be a Phillies fan. But yeah, Mets need to change it up. I mean, just yeah. It's same thing over and over again. I'm glad this team is changing it up. They're not constantly running through the motions. If you're bad, you're going to get benched. You're going to get sent down. We saw it. Joey Wendell sucked. He got sent down. Adrian Hauser was horrible in the rotation. They put him in the bullpen. And, I mean, saw that this past week. What happens when he's back in the rotation? He's horrible. This team just needs a lot of change. And everyone went off on me last stream for saying this team's going to lose 90 games, but I mean, do you really have that much faith in them changing it around? I mean, if they're going to play like this for the rest of the season, you bet they'll lose 90 games. I mean, you go 2-8 every 10. So I think it's a 10-game homestand. And who is it against? It's against the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, and the Giants. Nice, nice little Western thing on the East Coast. 3-7 is what I could see. I'd be happy with 500. And we'll talk about it later, but this team does not hit. I mean, we saw the run differentials. They don't hit at home. I think they average, 2.2, something like that runs.
2.7.
It's like, and then it's like 5 point something on the road. I don't know what it is. Even like everyone's just a completely much better hitter on the road. And I don't really know why that is. I think that's just a really weird coincidence. There's nothing.
I will say I don't think it's a coincidence. I don't think the Mets roster is built to play in Citi Field, because you go and you pick up a bunch of hitters that try to hit home runs. Citi Field's not a hitter-friendly ballpark, and that's why a lot of their outs are long fly balls that stay in the stadium. I know that they're not built for the stadium. If they went out and got a bunch of players that hit for average, maybe you might be looking at something better. Not trying to kill them not trying to kill home runs every at bat when you're trying to hit for average and steal bases and play small ball. That's the type of baseball the Mets need to play, is small ball, and they're not. So that would be one thing you look at and just, hey, switch it up a little bit, get different players that way.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it last stream, and we emphasized Jeff McNeil, how many fly balls he hits that just dies out on the warning track. I mean, this team is it's insane. If you look at the launch angle, you look at the exit velocity, they're hitting so many hard balls and they just die out on the warning track. Where Juice Ball era, they'd be killing it with home runs. I think they have 51 home runs, same amount as the Atlanta Braves, which is crazy to say.
I was just going to bring that up.
Runs, but what do they not get? They don't get many doubles. They don't get many triples. And then that's where the slugging goes down. But overall, just to finalize 10-game homestand, got to change it up. We need to see consistency. We need the best of both worlds. We need pitching and we need offense. But if they're not going to, if you have pretty good pitchers coming up, so that means the offense is probably going to suck. But you just need consistency. I mean, it's as simple as that. And two biggest things: Marte, Beatty, bye. Then they need some time off. I better see Vientos hitting third or fourth in this lineup with how hot his bat has been. Vientos, very mature hitter, mature hitter. He looks much more good at the plate. He's relaxing on a lot of the inside pitches, so super excited from him. But 10-game homestand. I hate to say it, but I think they'll go 3-7. If they go 500, I'll be satisfied.
Yep.
Yeah, and finishing up the topic with Cleveland and getting swept, the last game was was like, I would say, the replica of the entire season. And we talked about this on the last roundtable, right, Hayden? We talked about it.
Yes.
They hit a lot of inconvenient home runs. They hit too many solo home runs. They hit 3 solo home runs in Cleveland. 3. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you would not win a game like that. I'm sorry. They don't hit multi-home runs. They don't hit 2-run homers. They don't hit 3-run homers. And God forbid they hit a grand slam, right? They don't do it, right? Look, Cleveland got right back into the ball game with a 3-run homer, and they took off. Like, that is a morale booster for a team to hit 2 3-run home runs, not solo home runs. Yeah, it was nice. All of a sudden, McNeil looks like he can actually hit a home run now, and now he's going to probably drop his average even further to try to hit more home runs. So the fact is, they hit too many inconvenient home runs, or they hit them at the wrong time, too many solo home runs, and that goes for everybody on this team. That goes for Alonso, Lindor when he actually hits the ball. McNeil, is looking like he's hitting the ball a lot better. I was just watching Mets Weekly prior to coming on, and the new reformed or refined lineup is having the players play better offensively. Nimmo, Lindor, JD Martinez, and Alonso. Their stats have been better since that new look lineup at the top of the order. That's great, but they're still losing. They got to be better. And I've talked about this a lot as well. And I think Hector just popped up here, so we'll bring him in. Hector, we'll get to you in a second, buddy.
No problem, man. Sorry I'm late, guys.
It's all right. We still like you. So
I don't like me.
So look, the fact is that they need to, like, the supporting cast, as I said many times, is what was driving this team early on. And the supporting cast is slowly not playing well anymore. They're okay, which they're not supposed to be the main guys that are doing damage on the team. Now it's time for the main guys to do their job. And this is where the homestand, where Alonso, Lindor, definitely Lindor, McNeil, and Nimmo, they all got to step up at home. Nimmo and Lindor brought it up in their last interview that they spoke about. I put it in our group chat, right? They said it. Nimmo says, we know about the home and road splits. We got to change that. Well, you know what? Actions speak louder than words. I know that's a motto that you've heard many, many times from unrelated sports issues. But the fact is, they got to show it. Like, score some fucking runs in Citi Field. You know what? Hector's probably going to a lot of these games. Make him happy. Please. Hector, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing? And I don't know if I'll be going to too many of these games, but
you're gonna be there. You're gonna be standing up, bitching and moaning. You know it.
I can't stay away, man. I can't stay away. But again, guys, sorry I'm late. I'll try to catch up on here what was going on, but obviously not happy with what happened this past week. The Cleveland series, as we last spoke, we were hoping they would turn things around. I did a couple of the did a couple of the post game shows with you, with you guys. I did one with Chris, one with you, and it's funny because the one I did with you, we talked about, you call them inconvenient home runs, but the solo home runs that it's like, come on, why can't
that's all they hit.
Yeah, and then the next day they gave us three of them. Like, oh, you don't like the solo home runs? Well,
yeah, they score early. We talked about let's score early. Now they don't score late. Beautiful.
Yeah, and that too also. Yeah, like, oh, we don't score early in games. Here's this 3 solo home runs. What was it, like in the first 2 innings? First, innings?
Second, third, and fourth, I believe. Oh, first, second, third, I believe. Sorry.
So, that's definitely frustrating.
So I already asked these two guys already. So, and by the way, Hector, Tim, Hector.
What's up?
How you doing, Tim? Yeah, bad way to meet, but good to meet you.
Of course.
So, heck, the 10-game homestand, obviously, we just spoke about it. Everybody gave their opinions towards it. What do the Mets have to do to have – look, we need to go 7-3 or better to come out of this saying, okay, we have a shot going into the next 30 games before the trade deadline. Speaking of a third wild card spot, or maybe second, but most likely third. What do they have to do, or what is the most important thing you want to see, or they need to do to have a successful homestand? Like I said, 7-3 or better.
I was a successful homestand. Just give me a winning homestand, but you want to know exactly what they need to do? I mean, play better, play complete games. You know what I'm saying? Put together a complete game where you get offense, where you get hitting, where you get early on offense, late offense, where the bullpen works as well as the starting pitching. Just put a complete game together, or actually a few of them. How about 7 of them in the next 3? But listen, honestly, these next 10 games are huge, right? And because of who we're playing, they're big. This could derail the season, like really for real. This could be it right here. But then I kind of lost my train of thought because I was thinking about this before, about how big these 10 games are and the opponents that they're facing. And, but I also don't want to see them, like, let's say for some reason, because in the past we've seen the Mets step up when the competition gets tough or whatever, or when everybody counts them out. So everybody's counted them out. right? Even I've counted them out. Honestly, as much as every game comes and tomorrow I'll be there, you know what I'm saying, rooting for them and all of that good stuff. In reality, I'm like, this team is done. That's what it's shown us. So yeah, whatever it takes to win those 7 out of the next 10, 8 out of the next 10, whatever it is how you follow it up. That's what I'm more interested in. How do you follow it up? It's like we talked about early on when we were doing these things, and they were on that hot streak. I keep saying it, and they won the 5 games in a row or 6 games in a row, whatever it was, and all those series. And I said, okay, we know this is not going to last forever. When it drops off, how far does it drop off?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Don't go out there, win 6 in a row, and then lose the next 4, and then win 2, and then lose the next 5. And that's pretty much what they've done. Don't win 6 series in a row, whatever it was, and then lose the next, now what, 8 series in a row, whatever the heck it's been.
Yeah.
So to me, it's more about what do you do once you do turn it around. If you're going to turn it around, how do you follow that up?
Yeah, I mean, Easy said it. How about showing some guts, right? They talk a good talk during all these interviews.
Very, very weak team.
Yes. Well, we said this for years, right? How mentally soft this team is. They get punched in the mouth, they go cry in the corner. Like, that's exactly what they do. Like, they did it in September 2022 when the Braves punched them in the mouth in Game 1. They never recovered. They lost the division. And then we knew it was a funeral going to Citi Field against the Padres in the wild card matchup. Like,
I was there for all of it.
Yeah, I was there for 2 out of 3, unfortunately. Spent $400 for nothing, right? The fact is, like, they took that right into 2023 and they never recovered. I can't, we could talk about the injuries all we want in 2023. April, they could have came out firing, pissed off at the world how they performed in September and in that wild card round. Most teams do that. When teams are pissed off, like the Royals did it in 2014 going into 2015, right? They got pissed off. They won the World Series, right? They outplayed the Mets for the most part in the World Series, won the World Series, and, there's history, right? And you see it all the time when teams get, like, knocked off the rocker a little bit, but they come back guns blazing. The Phillies are doing it now, right? They got beat by a team that was worse than them in the Arizona Diamondbacks. They got embarrassed in their home ballpark, and what are they doing? They have the best record in baseball. Like,
yeah.
When can the Mets do that? And Tim, I'm going to get to you with this, right? Because you're shaking your head, you're saying yes. Where is the guts? Where is the mental toughness that this team needs? Or maybe the core of these guys, Alonso, Nimmo, Lindor, McNeil, maybe they just don't have that mental fortitude they need to take that next level when they get punched in the mouth, Tim.
They just don't have a leader. I know Lindor tries to be the leader in the clubhouse, but he's just not it. And Alonso can't do it. McNeil's not mature enough to do it. Nimmo, although I love Nimmo, he's probably my favorite player on the team. He doesn't have the leadership that needed. I don't really think there's anybody on this team that's got the leadership that can really help push and motivate this team and kind of strengthen them up that way. It's just you don't see it. And it's ever since that Atlanta Braves series at the end of the year. Or I'll even go back to when Timmy Trumpets, after he came to Citi Field, it was all downhill from there. It was a shit show from there. And I even said that was the worst thing that has happened to the Mets in a while. The fact that he did that and then they just completely fell apart. They haven't been the same since that game. And until they change something, honestly, I know McNeil played well in Cleveland. I'm not buying. I'd probably try to trade him at the deadline, see what we can get for him, because he doesn't have it anymore. And you just need somebody to come in and take control. Who that is, I have not a clue. But there isn't anybody in that clubhouse that I could see right now saying the Mets are 100% behind them. There isn't, and it shows in their play.
Get heck.
No. Listen, I agree with everything that Tim just said, and I think it's funny that I come in late, and this is what you get on right away, because it's one of the things that I had wrote down, and it that kind of leads to this or goes with this is I was asking myself earlier today, and I remember saying early on in the season in the spring training, even calling Sal and BT, because Sal was upset that I forget exactly what was it that one of the guys said, or really overall, they were saying, we have something to prove. We're better than this, and blah 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 blah. And that bothered Sam. I was like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with these guys being motivated? I think a motivated team is a dangerous team, and I think that goes to what you're saying. What happens? Do you not get upset about what happened in 2022 and come back in 2023 and not win 101 games, win 105 games, damn it, and go out there and go past the wild card or whatever the case it may be, you know what I'm saying, and win a couple of rounds in the playoffs. And if that doesn't work, come back pissed off this year and say, that didn't. But no, it's more of the same thing. Oh, we lost today. We'll get them tomorrow. No big deal. You know what I'm saying? And I think I said it in one of our group chats. I may have said it in some. I do so much crap where, guys, it bothers us, and I understand. Because we're fans. It bothers us on a day-to-day when they lose than it does to them, and I get it. They're playing. They're professionals. You got to learn how to move on. It's a long season. Blah blah blah. You can't take the one game to the next. But damn it. After even now what's going on, now one guy can say, yo, this is unacceptable. Enough for the garbage. And I know someone you can say, oh, but Lindor says it, they have to be better. Even I've given them credit for that. I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of hearing Pete saying I'm putting in the work. Well, what kind of work are you putting in? Because it's not working. Change the way you're working. Change something. Do something different. And I agree with Tim. I love Brandon Nimmo. I actually think Brandon Nimmo is a big leader on this team because, teams have more than one leader, right? We've had this conversation before. Teams have more than one leader. It's not just one leader, and everybody leads in different ways. However, what this team lacks, and what a guy like Brandon Nimmo definitely lacks, is get mad. I never seen Brandon Nimmo upset.
No.
Francisco Lindor is known as Mr. Smiles. Pete Alonso's a big teddy bear. The only guy that gets upset, and I'm wearing his shirt today because he's catching a lot of hate, including from me, but he's been one of my guys. But the only guy that gets upset is McNeil, and he's always upset, so it doesn't matter.
Right? It doesn't motivate people.
Yeah, if anything, they ignore this dude. It's like, this guy's always pissed. So if he got upset one day and said, yo, guys, this isn't nothing. It's McNeil. This guy's always screaming. He's always pouting. He's always, you know what I mean? Then everybody else, it's just a nice guy. Marte barely speaks to himself. You can tell. Like, Marte's a guy that, he's just.
Yeah. He's just there.
Yeah, he's just there. Alvarez, too young to, I think eventually he could be the leader of this team, but too young right now, can't stay on the field. So, yeah, that's the sad part. Where are you going to get this leadership or whatever from that we keep asking for as Met fans?
Yeah, and I think it's going to be the guys outside.
You know what? We got it, guys. We got it for one season, unfortunately, with Scherzer. We got it with Scherzer a little bit.
See, but, a lot of people were like, "Oh, fuck Scherzer." He was useless for us. You know what? He was one of the best pitchers until he got hurt in 2022. Right? He had the best ERA in baseball before he got hurt, and he was that guy that was vocal. Right? You saw him in the dugout pacing. Like everyone's like, "Oh shit, we got to be better." Right? We got to get up. And I felt like that type of way of doing things. I'm not saying to be psychotic like Scherzer in the dugout, but it seems like they're going through the motions. Like they just, we got a game today. Okay, hey, let me get my bat and my glove. Let's go to the ballpark. Like they feel that's the way it feels like. It seems like they don't motivate each other, right? They find a way to motivate themselves, which clearly doesn't help enough. But they don't feel like they motivate each other. They don't feed off each other very well. In 2022, it felt like every one of those guys fed off each other, right? When Scherzer pitched great, Chris Bassett couldn't wait to get on the mound to pitch better. Same thing that went for Jacob deGrom. Like, it felt like that. When, Marte got a big hit, guess what? Mark Canha actually showed up and get a big hit. Like, it felt like they fed off each other offensively and defensively and pitching. And now it's just like, oh, Lindor struck out. Oh, all right, I guess it's my turn. It feels like when things are going wrong, they go up there with like the hide in the shell, at the plate, especially in big spots. Like we've seen it over and over again this year, last year, late in 2022. I don't know anymore. I'm telling you guys this right now, and I hope I'm proven wrong just for everybody who's going to kill me in the chat right now. I think the leaders, future leaders of this team, is outside the organization, and that's even if they do keep some of these guys after the season or by the deadline and whatever. I think guys that are going to be outside, I don't care if it's Juan Soto, Santander, whoever you want to name that might be available in trades and free agency. The leaders, the future leaders of this team, it might be Alvarez because I think he has that swagger. I think it's coming from outside the organization. And don't think for a second David Stern doesn't know that. He knows what goes on in the clubhouse. He knows what's going on in the dugout. He knows who can be a leader and who is just a follower. And I don't think he wants to deal. I don't think he wants to, give more big contracts to guys that have not proven it in big spots and pressure situations. And, when it matters the most, like who's carrying this team, right? I said this for a while, right? I don't feel really confident about Alonso carrying a team. I don't think he's that guy. I said it. I think he can be a great number 2 in front of a number 1. Behind the number 1. And Lindor, I feel like he tries to be that leader, but nobody's listening. Like I was like you're the outsider that tries to be the leader, and you're just not. Like I feel like that. Like even though I'm a big Lindor supporter, I just feel like he tries to be that guy through the media. And you always see him, clapping it up for the pitcher, like, oh, let's go. He's always in the game. But I just don't think I don't know. I wouldn't say take him seriously, but I just feel like they just don't respond to his type of motivational leadership, I guess. And Hayden, I'll get to you here. Like I know you're. Look, you're the biggest Alonso fan that I know, and you even starting to have some doubts about Pete Alonso, not just performance wise, but leadership wise. Is he that number 1 guy that can, hey guys, I'm taking you on the shoulder. I'm going to go on a big run here and help you guys get you over the top. Why is this team leaderless instead of having that leadership that we thought at least one of these guys have? Because I think that's the biggest issue this team has. Because I think the talent's there. I think they should be good enough to at least be a couple of games over 500. Where if you look at the third wildcard team, they're 2 games over 500. We should be right there. Like we shouldn't be this bad, especially the way the pitching that nobody thought was going to be any good has been for the most part this year pretty good. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you guys said. This is a very weak-minded team, and Tommy Pham was right. The Mets have a very lazy work ethic. They don't have a culture in the clubhouse, and they're one of the least hardworking teams out there. It's all true. There's no leader in the clubhouse. I concur with that 1,000%. Lindor steps up there. Oh, we need to play better. Yeah, keep saying it. Why don't you do it? Lindor's saying, oh, I want to play better. Play better. Putting up Jason Bay numbers. Come on, dude. Alonso, same thing. They talk. This team likes to talk a lot and say a lot of things and sulk during the post-game press conferences. Oh, we need to hit better. Oh, we need to put better at bats, yada, yada, yada. But they don't actually do it. So what difference does it make? And I know a lot of people are in front of Jeff McNeil, but I'll give him one thing. He shows emotion. Ottavino, I think he threw an iPad or he smashed an iPad or he threw something. Same with
you think they're a cooler?
Yeah, cooler. I think it was Reed Garrett or somebody. 2 pitchers smashed something this weekend. Good. Show emotion. I'm tired of seeing this team just sit in the dugout and, oh, I wonder what someone had for dinner. Oh, I wonder what this, play better, perform better.
It is
there's no leader.
It is interesting to know that the pitchers are showing a lot more emotion,
and as they should. And maybe they could teach some of these hitters a thing or two. This team just shows no emotion. They're lifeless. I mean, they just don't care, and it's true. They stand up to the batter's box. Oh, they strike out. Oh, they ground out. All right, back to the dugout, and they just sit. I mean, for the few times they show the Mets dugout, I don't see much action. I see a lot of people sitting down. Yeah, you'll see Mendoza and a couple other individuals, leaning towards the end of the dugout, but I don't. I see Alvarez, and that's probably about it, standing up. Very lazy team. They have no work ethic, and just something needs to change.
Yeah,
There's
and
no leader, and it's true that there is no leader. And unfortunately, I really hoped Alonso would be that guy to, step up and say, okay, guys, whether it's calling a team meeting, whether it's just doing something, but no one does it. And I agree. This team's leader is coming from an outside organization, or who knows, maybe it'll be someone from the Mets farm system. I think Alvarez could definitely be a lot of the younger guys like Vientos, like Alvarez, they're excited. So they're willing to take charge. But unfortunately, guys like Lindor, guys like Alonso, don't show anything. And, maybe a guy like JD Martinez, but he's going to get traded in 2 months. So what difference does it make? He's going to have no relationship with any of his teammates in 2 months. But I agree. The last time the Mets had an actual leader was Scherzer, or even DeGrom.
I'd probably even go back to David Wright.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
that's probably the last time I've actually seen a legit leader on this team. And I'll add one more thing for leaders. I don't think it's going to start with the players. I think you need to get a manager that people will take seriously. Carlos Mendoza's not that guy. You need to go out there and get somebody who has some type of authority and will actually, put them in their place. Because I feel like Carlos Mendoza is kind of a guy that's there for right now. He's not long-term. He's just there. And that it starts with him. I think you need to I know that's always the turning piece is, get rid of the manager. But you need somebody that's actually going to be there. And I just don't think he has enough authority over the team.
Get Wally Backman.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, that would make
mess around. I'll tell you that. Lindor, all them.
Get somebody who's going to put the entire team on their ass and make sure that they take take over for their actions. So I think it starts with the manager.
I could see that, but we kind of had that, didn't we, with Buck?
Yeah, and it didn't work. Well,
that's what I was going to say. It's the same thing with Buck. I mean, it's just
Well, it worked for 1 year, and then Billy Epler decided
why,
to
guys?
say,
because you need to have that guy that is an extension of the manager, right? The manager can only lead but so much. Yeah, the manager will set the standards or whatever it may be, but he needs to have those guys that have the pride within themselves to carry on what the manager is spinning. You know what I'm saying? And to hold guys in check when the manager's not around and paying attention, because the manager can't always be there. You know what I mean? Manager's not always in the clubhouse and stuff like that. Buck talked about it in Terry Collins' show, how he would walk around and guys would be like, "What are you doing?" Oh, he's like, "I want to know what's going on with my guys. I want to catch a feel for what's going on with my guys." And I've heard Mendoza talk about he does the same things. But I think the unfortunate part is what we've been saying, what you guys are saying, is that there is not one guy on this team that can take over and be that dude. You know what I'm saying? Guys lead with him also. Because
and that's
not just one guy.
Yeah, exactly. And and that's the thing too. We can talk about I disagree with you a little bit, Tim. I do agree with you when it comes to the manager and stuff like that. But I think Mendoza has been better than expected this season with what he's been given as a team right now. I would love to see him with top talent, a really good team on paper, and see how he manages, because I really think he's done a decent job considering that. What can you do when Pete Alonso is not playing well, or Lindor is not batting over 200, and and Nimmo's the only guy actually showing a little bit of a pulse? So I'm trying to figure out I think Mendoza, the leadership can't come from just come from the manager long term, right? We saw with Buck Showalter, right? You see how fast the leadership qualities of Buck Showalter showed up in 2022, and it fed off. And it kind of pushed towards the team, and it worked. But in 2023, you know how fast that leadership got taken away from Buck Showalter because of Billy Epler, who was just being a snob and an egotistical asshole, and didn't want Buck Showalter to be Buck Showalter. And play Vogelback every single fucking day, even though we can't hit, right? It was things like that. I think, even though the injuries probably derailed the team as a whole last year, Buck Showalter was handcuffed. And everybody wanted Buck Showalter fired, right? Hayden, we were doing shows,
Yep.
roundtables last year every single fucking day. What did we hear? You got to fire Buck. You got to fire Buck. Well, we fired Buck. And the team, mostly the same, is still losing. So could we stop blaming a manager every single time when things go wrong? Yes, the manager is usually the scapegoat because that's the easiest one to get rid of, along with a GM and front office people, right? So that's the issue, right? How many GMs, how many managers do we have to go through until we say it's actually the players that are not doing the job who's been here for the most part, right? All together, Nimmo, McNeil, Lindor, and Alonso, all these guys, they've been together for at least 4 years now. Right? They've been here and they've been losing. So at some point, the manager and the front office, they can only do so much. Like, I don't care who you bring in. If you don't perform on the field, you have to start blaming the players, right? Aren't they the ones with the bat? Aren't they the ones with the glove? Like, I know sometimes the manager, especially in today's age of baseball, like, it's rare that Bruce, that Bochy is a manager, right? There's not many of the Bochys left in baseball anymore. There's a couple, but like look at Snicker from the Braves. He came from their minor league system, right? No experience really in the major leagues. A ton of experience in the minors. He knew all those players, right? But the Mets had Luis Rojas. They tried to do that. It didn't work. So at some point, and guess who the players were? The same four I just mentioned. So you had Luis Rojas, Mickey Callaway, you had Luis Rojas, you had Buck Showalter, and now Carlos Mendoza. All of those four managers, and that was what 2018 until 2024. Who was the guys that have been a part of this team all that time? Now Nimmo has been there a little bit, and then the following year it was Alonso, and then it was Whit McNeil. And then it was Nimmo, and then it was Lindor. And all those managers, you had Sandy, you had Epler, you had Brody, and you had the other guys that like to send dick pics to women and get a DUI. So that's what 5 guys already, and now we have.
I think the DUI guy was gonna be pretty good actually.
No, he made that Lindor trade, didn't he?
No, the Lindor trade was already in the works. And I think that was more Porter and Sandy. That was.
Well, but that's my point, right? We went through all these front office people. We went through all these managers. We're still losing, and what has been consistent and constant and the same? The 4 core guys that we continue to talk about. So guess what? Maybe it is them that are the problem. Maybe it's not more on the manager and the front office. Because you can't tell me that this team doesn't actually have talent. You're telling me there are 7 games under 500 team? I don't believe that. Even last year, before the injuries started to really creep up, they were getting great pitching by Kodai Senga, and there was a lot of injuries, but it felt like they were just a little bit of a run away from the offense doing something to maybe we have a good run and maybe take off a little bit and show that they can actually be some type of playoff team. I'm sorry, the consistency and the constant names that have been there over 5 GMs, 4 managers is those 4 core guys. So let's start blaming. A lot of us have been blaming the players, but to keep on having turnover at leadership levels or management levels, I think is bad for an organization. Like if Stearns believes in Mendoza, they need to be there for a decent amount of time because the best teams in baseball consistently have the same front office people, same GM, same manager for a decent stretch for say 4 or 5, maybe 6 years. You get that consistency because you keep on having turnover at the front office level. You're going to have different philosophies coming in. Where
kind of saw it with Terry, though, right, Rob? We had Terry here for a while before we actually started winning, and there was a lot of losing going on. And obviously, Terry had the more experience. He already had the previous job with the Angels that didn't work out and all of that good stuff. So what you're saying is right. And I'm glad you're talking about this because I'm sorry to interrupt because it's making me think of something that I was thinking about before that I wanted to touch on today. because you're seeing a lot of it in the timeline again. And in our chat, we had a little, there was some mention of it and stuff like that. And it's the whole putting blame on Steve Cohen and David Stearns, and still people talking about, and Hayden was doing this, talking about he told them we were going to win a championship in 5 years, and what happened to that, and he guaranteed this, and it's like, really, guys, like, are we really still doing this? And even when he said that 5 years or whatever the heck statement, it was an answer to a question.
It's the stupidest owner could say, though. That's the dumbest thing someone could ever say.
True, but you know what?
But he said, if we don't win in 5 years, I'll be slightly disappointed. That's not a guarantee.
He just bought the team, though. Is this opening press conference? Like it's hard to I'm sorry. Look, if any of us became billionaires and bought a team, I can guarantee you would have probably say something stupid from answering a question, something like that. Like, I'm sorry, he was giddy. Like, you could just tell on his face, he was excited to own the Mets. And you know what?
And listen,
excitement.
And everybody thought the money was going to do it. Just come in and spend money and you can win, right? He thought the same thing as a fan.
In his opening press conference, if he would have says, guys, I'm not spending a lot of money right now. We need to rebuild the farm system. It's going to take say if he would have said 3 to 5 years of rebuild to get where we want to be, there would have been pitchforks and riots at Citi Field because Met fans would have went ape shit after they had to deal with the fucking Wilpons for decades of lack of spending.
Well, you could argue everyone was in their prime. When Cohen bought the team, Alonso was a prime player. McNeil was a prime player. Nimmo, if he was healthy, he was a prime player. JD Davis was coming off of a fantastic season.
But at the time, it's nobody was complaining that he was going to try to go for it because he did go for it. Look, we had no farm system when he took over the team, right? That was obvious. We all agreed on that, right? So what was the only way to help the guys like Nimmo and Alonso and Lindor, or technically McNeil before Lindor, and help them out in their prime years, in their best years? He had to spend money on veteran guys, right? The majority of the free agents are 30 plus now, right? Because a lot of them, if they don't get signed early and buy out arbitration years from their other teams, they don't become free agents until they're like 30 years old or 31, right? And that's what you're going to get. So he tried to win by buying the best players available, or at least whatever GM was there, the best available, even though they were older guys. That was the only way he could do it at that 3-year window, 4-year window, and it failed. But to get on an owner who tried, remember, the middle of the night, I was at work, driving in the cooler, and I heard on the radio, wait, we signed Carlos Correa? How did that fucking happen? Like, that came out of nowhere, and I know we didn't, obviously.
Wish we still had him.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, he's batting barely 200, so I don't know how many people would have been.
Now, he's having a great year now.
He's playing better now. He's playing, but the first month he was terrible. But again, I think we should have just bit the bullet and just took that contract. But if we would have been losing, but then again, you have a championship guy who's a winner who's in his prime. I think that's a whole different dynamic there. But yeah, like nobody complained about the Scherzer deal when we signed him because we took him away from the Dodgers. Remember, I don't know if it was you, Hayden, that was with me during that Scherzer watch stream. I know we were on a lot during that time.
Yeah. We
were actually we knew that the Dodgers had a 2-year deal worth very similar to what the Mets offered per year. And the Mets, the Mets have to go that extra year. And you know what? They went the extra year to land the guy they wanted. And they took him from the Dodgers, who at that moment was the team that was going to be our competition in the NL. And that was the idea. So, the same thing with Verlander, right? It was either DeGrom or Verlander, right? It was either or. Some wanted DeGrom, some didn't want DeGrom, some wanted Verlander, right? They got one of them, right? DeGrom probably didn't want to be here, and the Mets clearly didn't trust his help, which they were kind of right about, right? And they got Verlander, who won the Cy Young prior to that year that they signed him. So what were they supposed to do when they had no farm system? Like, they could have blew it up, traded Alonso for 30 prospects, traded Nimmo, right? But guess what? He re-signed a homegrown guy in Nimmo. They re-signed Jeff McNeil. They extended Lindor when they traded for him, right? A lot of people were like, you can't trade for Lindor and not sign him, right? Everybody's like, oh, when Lindor is not worth $340 million. Well, you know what? Unless you're Ohtani, you're probably not worth that money. Anybody's not worth that money. But at the same time, when you got to remember how many shortstops were going to be free agents the same year that Lindor was. And they were talking about Correa and Seager. Those guys, they were expected to all make $300 million, right? That was the going rate for these shortstops. And that was where it was trending. So Steve Cohen was like, I don't want to bid against other teams and raise our price. I think that we can get them at this number, and they got them, right? When have the Mets ever done that in their history? They always lost those guys or didn't even try, like Wheeler, right? We talked about that. He's one of the best pitchers in the baseball, right? We can go on and on and on with all these guys, right? That, Jose Reyes, right? They decided to keep Wright after the fans were ready to, riot Shea Stadium or Citi Field when they re-signed David Wright, but they didn't even make an offer to Jose Reyes, like, and that was during the Wilpon era, right? And it kind of goes back to the same thing. Like, I didn't know what else Steve Cohen could have done. Either he was gonna completely blow up everything, rebuild, trade everybody that the fans loved when he has a ton of money, or go for it for a couple of years and pray it works. It didn't. And now you're kind of feeling it right now because he's building a farm system in a way that is not normal, right? He's trying to win and build a farm system at the same time. Do you know how hard that is? Again, go back prior 10 years ago when the Dodgers were going through it. They just got the new ownership group, the Guggenheim Group, right? When they bought the Dodgers, right? What did they do? They bought a hell of a lot of veterans, right? The Adrian Gonzalez's of the world, right? They tried. They weren't successful. They lost. They were an okay 500 team, a little bit over. They were a borderline playoff team for a couple of years. But you know what? They drafted correctly. They gave themselves about a 5-year window to draft a ton of players, and now they're reaping the benefit and spending money. That takes time. But you can't always do it like the Baltimore Orioles, losing 100 games 3 years in a row and wait 10 years to get 5 prospects and pray they pan out. And now the Orioles got lucky because they panned out those prospects. Like, let's be honest. If the Orioles drafted terribly, they wouldn't be good. It requires luck, but in New York, you can't lose 100 games 3-4 years in a row. The Astros did it before their little crazy cheating run, right? They had a draft, but they lost their TV deal because they stopped winning games on purpose. If the Mets start losing games on purpose to rebuild for 3, 4, 5 years, I'm sorry I'm going on a long rant, but it's a fact. We would go crazy as an organization because even the Wilpons never tried to do that. Maybe they should have, but they never did it because you can't do that in New York. You're not the Brooklyn Nets. Sorry. You're not the New York Islanders. Sorry. And you're not the New Jersey Devils. Sorry, Islander fans. I know, Tim. I know.
Nope.
I know. But it's a fact, right? You can't do it when you're one of the – look, you're a New York market, right, in baseball in New York. Not happening, right? The Knicks, because they had a terrible owner and GM, it was just a shit show after the early 2000s. And it comes back to –
I think we need to stop with the terrible owner stuff with the Knicks. It's still the same owner, and now everybody's happy. You need to have the right people making the right decisions as far as the sport.
Yeah,
the right
basketball person, basically about
the right
that, yeah.
baseball person, you know what I'm saying? So now hopefully this is what we have now with David Stearns. And has it been frustrating for these first 4 years of Steve Cohen? Absolutely. But it's not for a lack of trying. So people are saying we haven't spent money. He doesn't spend money. Are you paying attention? Now you can say it was misspent, See, because more than one
Well,
thing
you can say that after the fact every single time after the results, like your Monday morning quarterbacking, like all of
Rob,
us.
but some things you have to wait. It's the same thing you say. You can't.
Absolutely.
Hold
Absolutely.
on, Rob. You just went on for 25 minutes. You just keep saying you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. No, you could do it. You could do it. And if you do it right, yeah, we'll be pissed. I told you last time. We'll kick and scream, but who the hell cares? We can kick and scream all we want. We're not the ones making the decisions. If you have conviction behind what you're doing and then it works, guess what? We'll stop kicking and screaming. And we'll be like, you know what? We were wrong.
Yeah.
So I don't give a damn what we say. Yeah, we say we speak because we watch it, see, we care, we're passionate, we're a little knowledgeable, probably you guys more than me. I just like to talk shit. But the truth is, you have to give things time. And if they feel conviction behind it, I'll even go back a little bit because I see guys saying we should bring Beltran back, we should bring this guy back, bring that guy back, blah, blah, blah. I'll go back to the Beltran thing. When the Beltran situation happened, if they had enough conviction behind the decision to say, you know what, this is going on, we already know what his involvement was. We don't care. We like him as manager. It was a mistake. You guys can kick and scream all you want. The media can talk all the shit all they want. Carlos Beltran is our manager. What do you think would have happened? 2 weeks, maybe. 2 weeks, maybe people would have screamed about it. And everybody would have forgot. Especially if he was successful. Now, if he would have stumped, people would have gone nuts anyways, regardless whether he was with the cheating Astros or not. You understand what I'm saying? But the Mets have never had the conviction to stand behind what they want to do. It's always reacting. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being proactive. Something that I've always said, and shout out to Keith, who was talking about it today in the Shane Sons podcast that he did earlier today, where he talked about they need to start being proactive instead of reactive. I've been saying this for years.
Absolutely.
I've been saying this for years, but I'm just a loudmouth. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, stop being reactive to things and think ahead and get behind things. And if you believe in it and it plays out, then the fans will fall into line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
they won't.
Now, like I'm with you on the whole killing Cohen and all of it. It doesn't make any sense. But like I said, it's more than one thing can be true. Yeah, you can say it's great to have him as owner, the resources he provides and everything, and he tried and he went out there and spent money, but he made mistakes.
Yes.
They made mistakes. They were bad moves, some of them. You know what I'm saying? Some of them didn't work out. It's okay to say that. Even if while they was happening, we were happy with them. But not everybody's always happy. There's people that speak out there with certain moves and say, I don't like this. And when you call the radio or whatever, you say you don't like this, you're dismissed as, oh, you're one of the few. But then when it doesn't work out, nobody goes back and says, man, I remember when Tim said he didn't like this move. And he was one of the only ones. And we dismissed him. Nobody comes back and says that, Tim. Don't let you freaking die out there. You know, and act like, no, yeah, we were right the whole time. Oh, it didn't work out, whatever. No, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's not fun to go back and give people credit like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
but,
absolutely.
man. Listen, it's been unfortunate. The 4 years have been unfortunate. But now we have this guy, David Stearns, come in, who everybody wants to kill off of one off season. And let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest here. Who the hell? Because what has been the conversation now for however long the season's been, 2 months, whatever the hell it is. It's been about the core and how the core keeps not coming through, right?
Yeah.
Who the heck were we gonna bring in here to add to this core that was gonna make that much of a difference? Is it Juan Soto? Would it have been the Juan Soto trade if we made that trade? Could he have come in here and made that big of a difference? I don't want to say no. It's possible. But
I don't know.
Tim is shaking his head. No, like and you know what? I it's like I love Juan Soto.
Yeah.
Trust me, I want Juan Soto. I wanted Juan Soto. I'm upset as hell that he's in the Yankees and he's never coming to the Mets now. I don't care what anybody says, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope that's one thing that anybody comes back and says, Hector, you were wrong, you idiot. I really do, because I want Juan Soto. I don't think that's happening. But I don't know. I'm not convinced that he would have been enough to change these guys around, to make Francisco Lindor not have this prolonged slump and his slow start turn into whatever the hell this is, to make Pete Alonso a little bit more consistent. You know what I mean? To make Jeff McNeil back into maybe. I don't know. What pitcher could we have brought in here? I still think we should have got Montgomery, and I thought that maybe could have helped.
Okay.
But really, could that have? I don't know, because Is Montgomery a guy that's going to give you 8 innings consistently? Now, when he signed, is he even pitching right now? I'm not even sure.
He is. He hasn't been good this year, but he's still pitching.
Okay.
He was injured to start the. No, sorry, he wasn't signed to start the year.
He wasn't signed. He started late.
Like 4 starts this year,
but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if he got hurt too. I wasn't sure if he got hurt after he started. You understand what I'm saying? I thought maybe I know that happened with Blake Snell, right? Blake Snell started late, pitched a couple of games, went on the injured list. I think now he's making his way back. He'll probably pitch this weekend. Is it? Oh no, he's not pitching this weekend. I was he'll probably pitch. Is Blake Snell's the one that's on the Giants? I forget. I'm sorry, guys. I forget. Who's the one that's on the Giants?
Blake Snell's on the Giants. He's been awful this year. Jordan Montgomery's on the Arizona Diamondbacks. He missed he pitched the April 19th, April 24th, missed a week, and then he's pitched ever since. So he's been a little bit better, but Montgomery's been inconsistent this year as well. Yeah, 19 earned runs in 34 innings. So, Carlos Ramos in the chat. Corbin Burns. Yeah, that would have been nice to get.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. Exactly. So maybe we could have swung that trade for Soto and Corbin Burns, but then everybody would have went nuts about what? Who said it? Was that you, Rob? Go ahead, say it again. What did you say?
Well, they would have to give up a lot of prospects, and nobody wanted to do that, right? Same thing for Juan Soto.
I'll drive the prospects wherever they need to go, bro.
Yeah, you and me both. I'll take a proven player every day over a prospect because. How long are we going to wait for Beatty and Vientos to actually look like a Major League Baseball player? Sorry. Vientos will show you he's not going to be a Major League Baseball player. He can't play third base. He will be a butcher. As much as he might try to hit, I'm telling you guys right now, like the reason why Vientos is starting over Beatty is because Beatty sucks. And they need a little bit of spark in the lineup. And they're trying to say, we need offense. Fuck the defense right now. And at some point, it will hurt us when Vientos is playing every day, and he's a butcher, right? He's got a great arm at third base, but he can't play third base. How long have we been saying about Vientos? He would not be a top 10 prospect in any other team organization if he was on another team. It's just a fact. He's a positionless player who's a top prospect. How does that make sense to anybody? If I told you he can't play any position,
but maybe another organization would have developed him in a position. Maybe they would have made him a first baseman. You know what I'm saying? That he'd be
but his footwork is just terrible. Like it's not like I feel like that. Like there's always a position where you can put somebody.
We're complaining about development on this team, right? How this team doesn't develop its prospects properly and all that stuff. So again. Maybe somewhere else they would have worked on his footwork and it wouldn't be as terrible as you say it is. Like I'm just saying, let's play a little bit of devil's advocate because I like the guy and you're already trying to bury my dude when he's come up here looking for a hit and smash. So he's been solid. I hope we get an announcement tomorrow that Brett Beatty's going to AAA and Mark Vientos starts at third base. And if he gives up a run, he might give us 2 back. You know what I'm saying? So I'll take that for now, Rob. I'm sorry. I'll take.
No, I agree with you. But again, like if we're gonna put all our chips in for Vientos, because a lot of Met fans, if you're paying attention to social media, everybody's putting their chips in on Vientos again. All of a sudden, right when they were ready to like,
I've always been a Vientos guy. Mm-hmm. I've always been there.
Look, I think he can be a hitter. I just don't know. Like why did David Stearns get if they were so ready until like the last moment of spring training? Oh, Vientos is the guy. We're gonna give him the opportunity. Boom, JD Martinez. Why is that? Because they don't trust Mark Vientos. That's why.
Yeah, I think there was also some, he fell into their lap. The money was right. Opportunistic was their whole model. I think the fans screaming. I think that was maybe Cohen pushed a little bit for that with the fans screaming and moaning, talking about, we got to get somebody. And they went and did that. I don't think it's so much that they didn't believe in Vientos so much. But obviously, yeah, there's some of that. Because, again, you know what? It goes to the point I was saying before. So you know what? You're right. If they had the conviction that Vientos was good enough, they would have said, to hell with you guys screaming for JD Martinez. We believe in Mark Vientos being that guy and that could give us probably just as much the same that he is for the league minimum. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the hell Vientos is getting, which I'm pretty sure is the league minimum, that's $775,000. Instead of going out there and giving JD whatever the hell they give him, even if it's a deal. And it's something that I told guys a lot before the season. How much difference do you think JD Martinez is going to make? If you think everybody that was telling me, oh, Hector, this team is going nowhere, this thing, they're not making any moves, blah, 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 blah. They're going to win 75 games. Okay. They go and sign JD Martinez. How many games are they going to win? Is he gonna be a 10-game difference to win 85, 12? No, right, Tim? No,
not even close.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why, for the most part, I understood why they were saying no. We prefer to go with Mark Vientos. That's why when they did make the move, I was like, "What are we doing here? Yeah. What is this? This is mixed signals. All this time you're telling us you believe in this guy and you want to give him a shot to show what he is, and on the eve of the season." You pull the plug? What the hell is that? It didn't make any sense to me. And honestly,
that tells me something in the clubhouse went wrong. That's something internal went wrong with Mark Vientos more than they don't believe in him. That's just telling me, hey, we need to have a backup plan. And I guess Martinez was the backup plan, but he
becomes a starter though, right? Like he just took over the job. So is that Vientos became the backup plan? Now we do know to what you say what happened in the clubhouse. I don't think it was Vientos per se. Excuse me. We found out later on, and I'll let you go on, Tim. I'm sorry. We found out later on that Pete Alonso was pushing for. Damn it, sorry. Excuse me. That Pete Alonso was actually pushing for them to go get JD Martinez behind the scenes. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe they were pushing so much, like we need this guy.
That's a leader right there, fucking his own teammate just to get somebody else, right?
I don't know, but go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
And you can look at it this way. Alonso can push all he wants. Alonso wanted protection in the lineup. He had nobody. Last year, he had Vogelbach behind him. That's not protection. You can look at it. All of a sudden, Vientos is your backup. Is your protection. That's not protection enough. Teams aren't scared of Vientos yet. All of a sudden, you bring in Martinez and. Well, he's had a consistent bat. He's a veteran. He's got pop. He's got power. He's got batting. He has that stuff that Vientos has not shown yet. Vientos could be that guy, and maybe you could look at it. Oh, bring in Martinez. He can mentor a little bit with Vientos, with Beatty, with the young guys coming up. And he was cheap enough to go and get. They were probably trying to look for a leader. And unfortunately, he's not going to be here long. So he's not going to be able to click with the clubhouse enough. But they're thinking, hey, maybe we might be good enough to try to get a wild card spot. They were never fighting for the division. Never, ever, ever fighting for the division. They were 15 games back. Never doing that. But all of a sudden they look at, well, the wild card is kind of weak. I mean, San Diego is currently the third wild card spot, and they're a game over 500. And they have been very inconsistent. So you look at it, well, we can go after that third wild card spot. Let's bring in Martinez to try to mentor. And you can look at it that way and just be like, all right, it makes sense. He was cheap enough. They got him. And you got now protection for Alonso. Obviously, Martinez hasn't been fantastic, and they're trying a whole different thing with the lineup and everything. But that's kind of the thought process going through is that's why they got Martinez for that reason. And it could also – maybe something happened in the clubhouse during spring training that showed the Mets, hey, Mark Vientos is a very good athlete. He could hit and everything. Maybe they saw that, and they're like, all right, maybe he's just a little bit immature. And they want to try to straighten him out before he really gets involved in the Mets. And for them, Martinez was that answer. That's the way I saw it when they got Martinez. I did not see it as them going from 75 wins to 85 wins. Wasn't even close. Or 68 wins to 70, whatever it was, whatever people have thought. I did not see it that way. I saw it as, hey, that's a nice depth piece. That's a nice protection in the lineup for Alonso, maybe. And it's a mentor and a leader, maybe. But I did not see him as the savior of this team.
Some people did, though. A lot of people did. I saw it as a couple of years.
That's a little bit much. If they thought that Martinez was coming here to save the team, that was never happening. And as long as everybody knows that now, there you go.
Yep, absolutely. So, guys, home road splits we're not even going to really go into because we know we all spoke to the depth of it over and over again. They suck at home. Like I think it's like a over a 5 runs per game on the road, 2.7 at home. That's ridiculous. That has to flip it, please, in his 10-game homestand. Give us a homestand that we're actually proud of as Met fans, even though that's very hard to do at the moment. But to finish up here, we're gonna have a final thoughts. Tim, I'm gonna start with you since you filled in for CP. Chris, we do appreciate it. I will see you a lot more at work. But give me your final thoughts and let everybody know where to find you on your social medias and your channel.
Yeah, I'll quickly tag it on the home road splits. They're 10-14 at home. They're 11-14 on the road. So yes, they play different styles at home, at road. On the road, they're going to score more. They're going to let up more. At home, they're not going to score as much. They're not going to let up as much. That's just how it is. That's how we've seen it for the past since Citi Field is open. Final thoughts: this team fucking sucks. And as soon as they realize it, and I know my brother mentioned in the chat earlier, he says, "Yeah, keep Lindor, unfortunately, because of his contract. Alonso, Nimmo, Diaz, Alvarez, maybe Vientos, and then blow it up, and go from there." But this team is not going to be good. We knew they weren't going to be good this year, and I mean, I know I'm a Mets fan. That's why I bet them under 82.5 wins, and it was my most confident play of my most confident futures besides the Marlins under. But I knew this team wasn't going to be good. I figured we would know pretty early whether or not they were going to be a 70-win team or a 90-win team, and there was zero chance they were going to be a 90-win team to me. So as long as we all knew that coming into the year, I was prepared for this season, so I knew they were going to suck. But anyways, yeah, you guys can find me and my brother over at Earl Sports Bets. We do a live show every day around 10 a.m., breaking down all the different slates for NBA, NHL, MLB, NFL when it pops up from the betting perspective of it. So if you guys are interested in betting, that's where me and my brother take over. So if you guys are interested in that, Earl Sports Bets.
Absolutely. Hayden, final thoughts and let everybody know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, Mets are a joke of a team. If we're on the topic of betting, I'll say Hard Rock has been treating me well going against the Mets money line. So definitely Dodgers, Giants, and D-backs money line is going to hit this week. So that's the only thing the Mets could do right for me, I guess. But yeah, just pathetic franchise. I say blow it up. I've said it the last stream. I said that they were going to get swept in Cleveland. I think they go 2-8, 3-7 coming up. I think minus Nimmo, unfortunately, Lindor, Alvarez, Vientos, Senga.
We'll sing it too, yeah.
Blow it up. I mean, I say pull a 2021 Cubs. You know, well, the only difference is that they won a World Series.
Yeah.
But kind of be like that, and then maybe run it back to 2026. I mean, this team has no future, in my opinion. But who knows? I guess Mets fans still want to believe. But, you know, we'll have to see. But, you know, at least I have Stetson baseball. I don't know if you guys follow college baseball, but
ECU, baby. Let's get it.
They're in the playoffs. They beat Austin Peay today, so
Again?
to them. So let's go Hatters. And Bills Talk with Hayden's poppin'. If you want to like, comment, subscribe to that channel where I do Bills content. I'll have an Islanders channel coming out shortly. So focus on those two for most of it now, because, you know, not much to talk about with the Mets besides losing. And, yeah, otherwise, Mets Talk with Hayden. Not much positive stuff to say. Lol Mets. Who knows? Maybe I'll start a White Sox channel. And
White Sox, I'm down. Let's do it.
All right, guys. All right, mute this freaking guy.
All right, Hector, all right. So, Hector, the leader of the You Gotta Believe fan club, the guy who's going to be standing in section whatever, yelling at every pitcher that gives up a hanging slider to an opposing hitter. Hector, your final thoughts. Just because you're wearing that Jeff McNeil shirt, the giveaway that they gave a couple of years ago, that I still have, by the way, I just washed it actually. I almost wore it, so that would have been really bad. But
that would have been great, actually.
Yeah.
Guys with support.
All right. So your final thoughts, and make sure you check your bank account because hey, listen, the game every ticket might be like $2. You might be
Yeah,
able to go to all of them. So
yeah,
again, final thoughts, buddy.
right. You know what's funny? Talk about going to games. I actually have tickets for Saturday's game that someone gave to me a few weeks ago, and now
Burn them.
I probably won't be able to go. And it's the only game I want to go to right now because it's like, you know what? I don't want to spend not even $2, Rob, on this team. Not even $2. I
You're
want to spend.
spending more on a soda.
Yeah, they don't. I'm gonna spend more on the toll. I don't pay for parking, so I'm good on that. But the game that I was supposed to go to, I can't go because I got softball in the morning, and I don't think I'll be able to make it on time. But so that sucks. As far as my final thoughts, might be a little long winded. I'm gonna try not to be. It's my fault I was late. I kind of wanted didn't tell you guys, but I'm gonna try to take this a different direction today. I didn't even want to talk about these stupid 3 games and what's gone on and all of that nonsense. I did want to spend a little time on the whole road splits. You don't want to talk about it. You hate the fact that of what they said. I think it's kind of funny because we spoke about it. I think it was on our last roundtable, and I told you that some of this goes on, and you don't like it. And the weather. You're not the only one. A lot of people. I saw a lot of people.
Let's just speak about that. I don't want to hear it from them, from the media, because it's stupid. Because we all know about it. Look, you keep talking about it, but you don't do nothing about it. Leave that shit to us. You go in the batting cage and figure out why you can't hit at Citi Field. That's it. I don't want to hear it from these guys.
Well, the things that they're saying though, when they say the weather, and you say, "Well, I don't want to hear about the weather because other teams come in." What did I say in the round table though? Other teams come into Citi Field and the dimensions, the weather, whatever it is, they're only in there for 3 days. So it's not long enough for it to creep into their head and bother them every time they hit a ball and it doesn't go anywhere. And you feel like you hit it good. What the hell you want me to go in the batting cage for? There's nothing worse. I hate doing this, but I even do it when I play softball and the guy will line a shot right at the third baseman or the short. Don't change anything. You didn't do anything wrong. That was just tough luck. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you may hit something and you think it's a shot, and then it goes and dies in the Citi Field weather and the winds or whatever the case may be. And then you go try to change things when you shouldn't have, and now you're in a bigger slump because your mind is fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? So you may not like it, you may not want to hear it, but it's a reality, and I don't mind it. I don't mind. That's what I said this also before. We always talk about we want honesty from our ball players. We want to hear, and when they give us that, then we're like, "Ah, shut up! I don't want to hear that crap." You know. So that's what I'll say with that. I had a couple of things written down here. I'm not gonna get to all of it. I'm not gonna get to all of it. But I know this is my final thoughts. I don't care if you guys cut in because I'm gonna ask a question here. Because it's something I was thinking about this series, and really, yesterday's game with Quintana, because we've seen it a couple of times. And as soon as that 6th inning started, and I wasn't really watching the game too much, but as soon as that 6th inning started and I saw he came out there for the 6th, I was like, oh, I don't like this. And I'm starting to feel like, you guys remember with Terry Collins, when these young guys first came up, the Wheelers, the DeGroms, Harvey, as soon as they got close to 100 pitches, Terry was running out like his ass was on fire to get him out the game. They could not hit 100 pitches. It didn't matter how the game was going. It didn't matter anything. 100 pitches, they got to come out. And then you would see that whenever he would push them, especially, I remember, specifically with the Grom, whenever he would push them over 100 pitches, at 101, boom, bomb, home run. And it was like, damn, is it in their mind that they can't get to 100 pitches and right away they're going to falter? Now I feel like these guys that we have is the 6th inning. I don't want to see any of them in the 6th inning because it seems like no matter how well they're going, and I think Quintana yesterday at one point had like 40 something. Like he had a great pitch count. I wasn't watching the entire game, but his pitch count was low enough that you're like, man, this guy's going complete game status. But it's like, no, I don't want to see because it's something about the 6th inning with these guys where most of the time that's when they start getting rocked, or that's where they'll get rocked right away. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's how I'm thinking about these Chargers. But at the same time, you can't take everybody out after 5 because then you're going to run into the bullpen. What we're seeing already. A little bit of regression in the bullpen because maybe they're being overused a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that's bothering me that I'm thinking about. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Again, if you wanted to cut in on that. The other thing is, man, and we touched on it a little bit, I'm really happy about Vientos, man. And what I'm looking forward now in this series is I hope Vientos is starting again tomorrow at third base. I don't care if it's lefty, righty. I don't know what these guys throw with. I know Webb is a right-handed. I think Hicks is right-handed.
Harrison and Hicks are both bullpen pitchers, so you're not going to have to worry about that as much. They're
Okay.
bullpen games. That's what the San Francisco Giants do.
Okay, there you go. So I
They'll
mean,
go
we
1 or 2
know
innings.
I don't expect them to totally bury Beatty, but you've done it with Vientos. Honestly, right now, send them down. What's the big deal?
Iglesias, who's been killing it.
Was that?
Bring up Iglesias, who's been killing it.
Yeah, because we need that middle infield guy or whatever. So bring up Iglesias. Your bench will be a little bit better, be a little bit more well-rounded. And listen, Met fans for some reason lose their mind whenever somebody gets sent down. Like that's the end of the world. Yeah, we've seen Jared Kennedy get sent down up and down like 100 times already in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? We just saw the guy that, oh my gosh, we can't believe we traded this guy. Pico Armstrong gets sent down again to the minor leagues.
Yeah.
But we can't send nobody down?
Yep.
No, send Brett Beatty down. You know what I'm saying? Bring Iglesias back up here. And give Vientos a nice little run like you've given Brett Beatty. And I don't care. Rob says he's going to give up a run. I'm confident he'll get us 3. Maybe not every game.
Okay. I'm not that confident, but you know what? I have no problem.
I don't know why. Do you not watch the kid? He can hit, bro.
Great.
The dude can
I
hit.
want to see.
And he can hit late in games.
I want to see like a 20-game stretch of him playing almost every day, and then we'll see.
Well, that's not the best to do it.
Because I think he's going to lose more games with the glove than win us with the bat. That's just my opinion. Because he's a butcher. He's a complete butcher. He did it in the minor leagues. He had one of the worst defensive metrics. He has the most errors in the minor leagues when he plays the field, mostly third base. And that's where he's going to play. But again, I hope he takes all that anger that he has and puts it to everything he has, because I want to eat my words. I said this over and over again. I'd rather be wrong about half the players I bitch about than to be right about all the players I bitch about. I think we all will feel that way, right? Whoever you hate and bitch about every single day on every stream you might be on, you want to eat your words because we don't want them to fail, right? I think Alonso is a problem, but I want him to succeed. I want him to. Everybody wants Lindor to do better because they want them to do better. They want them to succeed, right? We all want to cheer. We want to have 45,000 every night at Citi Field cheering and going fucking nuts. That's what we need. And I want to see it. If Vientos does it, thank fucking God somebody steps up and proves us wrong for once. Because too many times we talk about it and we get proven right again and again and again. Group chat, Hector. What happens? Every game, we're like, oh, we knew it. They proved us wrong again. This guy proved us wrong. Prove us wrong. Prove us right. Prove us wrong because you continue to prove us right every single time. And that's the problem.
No, I hear you. But you know who else wasn't good? You know who else supposedly wasn't good defensively? Francisco Alvarez. And then when he finally came up here and got playing time, we're like, holy crap. These guys didn't know what the hell they were talking about.
He stepped up. Thank God somebody does.
But he was given an opportunity to.
Correct.
Juan Vientos has never been given an opportunity to. Maybe he's so bad defensively that they're terrified of doing it.
Well, I hope we see that. I hope they give him a chance to at least succeed. Like, because if he fails and you gave him a chance, what are you gonna do? You gave him. Yeah, absolutely.
But let us see him getting the chance. And I'm
you
sorry,
talk about a conviction. If they put conviction on a player and says this is what we're gonna do, let's go.
That's one thing for sure that I don't think they have conviction behind. This might be a third
you know what? If he has bombs, they're gonna leave him out there no matter what.
Well, exactly. As long as he keeps doing that, they'll leave him out there. But
all right, guys.
I'm sorry I took so long to wrap it up. Shout out to the chat, like I always like to do. I didn't get to kick any notes, but shout out to all you guys. We didn't shout out CP who came in here and said what's up. CP, my brother, we missed you tonight. But I'm Darren, Explosive Diarrhea, Carlos, all you guys, man. Sal, Stefan. Thank you, man. Easy. One last thing that I want to ask you guys, and you guys all. I think I'm the oldest one here, but Rob, I don't know. Rob been here forever since the Stone Ages. But I think Tim and Hayden is definitely younger than me. So I want to ask your opinion on something real quick, and I'll shut up. And this is my closing comments. Again, thank you, everybody. Hey, guess what, guys? Rob didn't say it today, But I've kept saying I actually have a YouTube channel. I just haven't finished it. It's done. I actually linked it to StreamYard. Everything is done. I gotta wait the 24-hour crap. So you may get my own little thing coming
Denied.
soon. And you get my own little thing coming soon. And maybe the next time we do this, I'll be putting it out there, not only on my X, which I didn't do tonight because I was late and that was kind of phony. And I'll be putting out there on YouTube. But look out for blunt thoughts, baby, on everything New York sports, but mainly on New York Mets, because that's what's definitely in my heart. But I'll be talking Knicks, Giants a little bit, whatever comes to mind. But the Mets is always on my mind. We lost Rob for a second there. But the last thing I wanted to ask you guys, your opinion. Well, like I said, Rob is from the Stone Age, so it doesn't really matter. You guys, the young guys. I don't know if you guys saw Michael Wilbon make some comments about how he's you could. I don't know if you could hear while you were gone, but I don't know if you guys saw the Michael Wilbon comments that he made about. Damn, I'm gonna paraphrase a little bit, but he was like, sports are starting to lose them especially when a sport like baseball, where now he watches a game, he has to hear about exit velo and long jump and all of this nonsense, and of course, a lot of people try to dismiss it like, oh, old man, get off my lawn crap and all of this nonsense.
It's true.
But I'll be honest with you guys. I'm with him. I don't need that crap. I don't want to hear about long jangle. I don't want to hear about exit velo. I don't even give a shit about the new crap that ESPN tried to put out the last time that the Mets were on with bat speed and all that crap. I don't need none of that nonsense.
So Hector, you don't want WOBA? You don't like that stat? That's a great stat.
Sierra. You don't need the Sierra stat.
The who?
Yeah.
About FIP. XFIP.
The what?
Your XFIP.
I think the thing is,
you heard that
analytics.
new stat? This new stat, FU. It's a great stat.
I like that one. I like that stat. The FU stat. That's what I got to say to all these geeks that want to give me all this nonsense that I could care less about, bro. I know if a ball was hit hard. I know if a ball was. I can see that. And like Wilbon said, what the hell do I care if a ball was hit 110 miles an hour if it's right at the third baseman? It's still an out. So it's a hard hit out. You know what I'm saying? And I see it. Like, I don't need that garbage, man.
Funny you say that because you've been to Citi Field 100 times, millions of times, especially the last year and this year. They don't show averages anymore on the big screen. Dude, they show OPS.
Rob, the first time I seen that? The first time I seen that was when I went out to Tampa. And they had that on the scoreboard. And I was like, what the hell is this bullshit? You know what I'm saying? And then the next year, Citi Field follows suit. Now they have, after every pitch, and I forget exactly what it means. And I've been told, I've looked it up, and every time I say it, somebody tells me. Now, after every pitch, that you see something, IVB, I think it is IVR, and H something, I think it's horizontal break of the pitch. And what? I don't fucking care. I don't care. Is it a strike or is it a ball? Did we hit it or did we not hit it? Is it a hit or is it a fucking out? I don't care about all of this garbage. You know what I mean? But I wanted to see. Tim, now you know the real Hector, bro. I get fired up. 0 to 100 real quick. That's me. But obviously, I think you guys disagree. Rob, who I thought was going to be the old man get off my lawn, says, who gives a shit? I think Hayden's going to love all of this new stuff. He's young, but I'm being stereotypical.
He's analytical, man, but
and I don't know how you feel about it. But yeah, man, guys, again, thank you for coming in and hanging out with us and letting us get this off our chest. And I always say, after this, hopefully we all feel a little bit better. You guys feel better, we feel better. And then tomorrow the Mets will fucking ruin it again. Anyways.
Absolutely. Well, with that said, Hector, I will train you on BABIP very soon. We'll get you into it. Don't worry. So with that said, guys,
batting average of balls in play. Give me a
there you go. There you go. All you need to know is wins and losses and average and runs and RBIs. That's the way I see it.
But don't just Hayden. You like these you okay with these numbers? Like you Tim, you like them? I'm the only
I use them every day, so yes. I
use them every day. Oh my god,
dude! I bet on sports. I use statistics to make. Yes, I use numbers every day. I'm a very numbers oriented person. I was always a math person. So
I make bets every now and then, right, Tim? I place my little bets, and you know what I go with? This fat gut.
What you got?
That's it. I don't. My boys used to always ask me, "Oh, what do you think?" Because sometimes I win. So don't ask me nothing. I'll tell you if I feel something, right?
Yep.
But don't ask me how I got there, because you're not gonna like how I got there, right? You know what I used to do? I used to read the newspaper every day. So I go to the pitching form or whatever the hell, and I forget which newspaper I had it, the Daily News or the Post, and they would have the pitching matchup for the day. They would have wins and losses, how that pitcher fared against that team, and how that team fared when that pitcher pitched. Those are the only things I looked at. That's it. And I'm like, okay, boom, 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 boom. That's that. If I didn't see it there, that's it. So listen, I know numbers are important, and some of them lead you a certain way, and it's good to go. I think a lot of these numbers are good for after the fact to evaluate, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't go up to the plate talking about, okay, I need to hit this slider that's going to come at this count, and it's going to have this kind of horizontal break with this kind of break, and I got to hit it at this launch angle with this much bat speed in order to make sure that I get it out. Give me a break.
You remember when baseball players just used to be dumb? See the ball, hit the ball, hit them where they ain't.
I'm
now
pretty
it's
sure
like,
the players aren't trying to measure their bat speed and everything. That's just something they look back at after everything, and you can use those types of statistics to adjust your swing, to adjust your timing, adjust your positioning. Like, you use those stats after the hand just to figure out what you're doing wrong up at the plate, and through that, oh, well, my bat speed wasn't quick enough, so I'll choke up, or I'll have my bat back here instead. So, or I gotta go quicker, whatever it may be, whether it's your bat speed, your launch angle. Oh, I'm swinging like this. I need to get under it more. I need to get on top of it, whatever it may be. So they use those statistics after the fact. I'm guaranteeing no player is going up to the plate saying, I need to hit this ball at 112 mile an hour off the exit velo off the bat at a 19-degree launch angle to launch it over the wall flushing. No, nobody's thinking of that during the game. It's more of a after-the-fact analytics look at it because of it. So
sometimes it looks like the Mets players are thinking of it, because they look confused at the plate sometimes. But yeah, you're right. I agree with you.
My positive, I'm going to end it
with positives. You reminded me of something else. Remember when we did the positive segment, and who was my positive?
Yeah, it lasted one show because there ain't no positivity. But but
Rob, do you remember what my positive was, though? What was my positive? You remember?
Shit, we did like 100 shows. No, of course not.
No, but we only did that segment in one show that we said let's all give one.
I don't know. You were yelling at me.
No, it was, dude. My positive was Brett Beatty, Tim. Yeah. Brett Beatty was my positive. Ever since then, he's been shit. I will never pick a positive again.
So maybe the Mets, because I'm so negative, that's why they're losing. So I'm going to be positive, since I'm 99% negative most of the time, and people hate me because of it. But subscribe. So here we go, guys. The Mets are going to have one fucking hell of a homestand. I don't know why I believe it. I don't know why I'm thinking this. I don't know. I'm not betting it because I ain't that stupid. But I tell you right now, I feel like they're going to perform well. I don't have no reason for it. I don't have no analytical stat for you to give you, or analytical thought process.
There's any analytical stats that will be said.
Yeah, you just suck. No analytics can tell them that. No. But I feel like I don't know why, but I have this feeling that they're going to come out of this homestand either at 500 or a game under or a game over 500, some way, somehow. I don't know why I feel that way. I don't know how. I'm confused even saying this, because maybe I never say anything positive, so maybe it just doesn't come out right. But I feel that. I don't know why. And Tim, you can tell me I'm an asshole at work.
For them to be a game over, they have to pretty much win 10 in a row, Rob. No.
Well, no. I said one game or one game under.
No, over or under. But to get over, because what are we like? We're like 7 games under, no?
7 games, yeah. We got to go 8-2.
9-1.
9-1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to pretty much sweep this homestand.
Well, where's the positivity, Hector? What the fuck?
I just want whatever you're smoking. Can you pass it to me? I really want to feel what you're feeling.
Shit, you know what I had? I actually drank soda for the first time in a while.
Wow. Okay.
That's what it
At
is.
home, at home, I usually don't. At home, I usually it's all anything else, and now I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But guys, I do.
NBC said you jinxed them, Rob.
Yeah.
NBC said you just jinxed them.
Yeah, probably. But when I'm negative, I guess I don't jinx them. I guess I'm completely right. But again, guys, I appreciate everybody tuning in to another Mets Roundtable. Tim, I'm very glad that you're here filling in for Chris. And listen, you're always welcome. Anytime you want to do a show and you want to hang out on a show, just let me know. Again, you'll see me enough at work, so we can, get together and figure things out like we did tonight. So Hector, again, you came late, so we're blaming you tonight why we had a bad show. Hayden had to run to work.
And the funny thing is, I pushed for this too. I'm like, we're doing a round table today.
8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So it was a good show. We talked about what we needed to talk about. The home and road splits we all know about. I know Hector could have went on an hour about that, but I think Hector is going to bring some good mojo to Citi Field this week.
My bad, Rob.
Hey,
One last thing at the home road split because I was looking at numbers, right? You saw I was looking at numbers the other day.
I know you were.
Yo, dude, guess who does better at home than on the road? Your favorite player, Pete Alonso, bro. His numbers at home are actually better.
Yeah, what, in August and September when there's no pressure? Fuck that shit. Listen, 5 home runs from Pete Alonso. Vientos is going to be the player of the game every day. Brett Beatty even might come up in a pinch hit spot and look like a Major League Baseball player. Jeff McNeil is going to get mad and probably not hit, like always. And then we're going to get good pitching from the rotation once again and probably lose. But here we go, guys. 8-2, 9-1, guaranteed. Book it. Don't bet it, but just book.
Don't bet it. Do not bet it. Do not bet it. Whatever you do, no.
So with that said, guys, everybody have a great night. Another Mets Roundtable in the books. Tim, Hector, I always appreciate it. Everybody in the chat, love you guys. Have a great night. Let's go Mets. Good night,
LFGM, baby, LFGM.
Yeah.